If everyone can start working their way to their seats, we're going to get started. In the beginning. All right, I want to get this started this evening. Be mindful of everybody's time because I know everybody is busy, especially this time of year. Try to squeeze this in before the holiday break. So with that, I'd ask you to all join me in a word of prayer and we will get started. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us all together this evening to honor our athletes. We praise and give you thanks for putting your watchful arm around this program this past season and that you protected all from serious injuries so that all could participate. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to play this past season amongst all this uncertainty. We know that our ultimate honor comes in your salvation and that only you can provide. Bless this evening and all who are here to enjoy it. In your most holy name, we pray. Amen. Okay, for those that may be new to this or veterans, tonight's about our athletes, our coaches, and you, our families, for presenting and being part of this this athletic program. Before I get into some of the thank yous that I want to do, I'm going to just call a brief audible. Our boosters club recently, because of everything that was going on, because of the difficulty of getting at games, etc., our boosters approved some equipment in the Stomp Center, which allowed us to live stream games. We enhanced it by putting score up there, all that sort of thing. Now, what the person behind the scenes that did that is not only our own Pastor Nikolai. So he worked hand in hand with the boosters. He did all of the work required to make that happen. He also, on his own time, came to every single game, got the live stream ready for us to do, and got it going. So on behalf of the boosters, Pastor Nikolai, I know you're up in the booth still, and I wanted to catch you before you leave. The boosters got you a gift. We'd like to present that to you. But I'm going to keep you, if you don't mind coming down. That would be outstanding. Again, the contract to do something like that would have cost us a little bit more money on the side, and but we appreciate everything that he did. And he also brought his daughter many times, so that was probably a good walk for him and his daughter. And but anyways, Pastor Nikolai, can we please just give him a round of applause because that was a really grateful gift from him. Thank you very much, Pastor. That was very, very generous of you.
Mayla loved watching all of you guys play, by the way. It was a kick for her, so thank you.
All right, now I also get to pass along some thanks. This season obviously has been challenging for everybody, and it doesn't happen without a unbelievable staff. So My staff is Miss Kim James. She's the Assistant Athletic Director. Miss Karen Goodsmith, and she handles all of our administrative and helps obviously with this evening. And then another we could not do without, Miss Nicole Gorney. Where are you? Thank you, Nicole. So just a brief, what goes on. The home games, I know when you come, they're a little different for you all with the temps and the mask and all that. But for the staff, it's not just like a normal game. There's a lot that goes on, getting in, getting out, the cleaning, and all that stuff. It was a challenge, and they made that happen. So really appreciate them. Parents, your flexibility. I'm sure every time an email came up and it started with subject schedule, you're like, thank you, Mr. Starkey, for screwing me up again. I know that this year has been challenging, and I know that your schedules are important to you, and I appreciate what you did with your kids to keep them here, and part of that as we went along. So really appreciated your efforts in that space. And then Mr. Newmeyer, he's up in the booth as well. I just want to thank him for giving me this opportunity to be your athletic director. It's something I absolutely take pride in. I love this program, and I love this school. So thank you, Mr. Newmeyer, for that. While I got the major student body of athletes, just a plug, track is going to be starting very soon. It'll start post-Easter. We'll be getting information out to you in the next coming days. And of course, as with anything we're in, it's going to look and sound and feel much different. I don't want to even get into some of the things right now because it depresses me. So we are going to focus on positivity right now, but just know this, the note will be coming. Monday, the day we come back, there'll be a Zoom meeting set up with me on the 12th, 6:37. I'll send out some sort of notification on that for you all, and we'll go through what the season looks like and what it's going to be. And then lastly, I just want to give a shout out. I don't know if she's still in here. She might be still getting some stuff ready. My wife, Dawn, is she here someplace, anywhere? Yep, see, she's hiding in the back. Dawn didn't realize that she was becoming part of the athletic staff this season because she was always cleaning bleachers or taking temps or trying to figure out how to play the iPad. So I appreciate her efforts, and all the cold pizza is fantastic as well. So with that, I do want to get into our teams and our coaches because after all, that's what we're all here to do. So with that, let's kick it off with our first team to come up. It'll be our JV girls basketball team. That is coached by Mr. Tony Till, Ms. Jolene McCabe, and Kim James.
Come on up, girls. Box out. Oh, Madeline, all right. I didn't know if that was going to work. So this was my first year coaching at Emmanuel, and like Tim said, a big thanks to all the coaches, especially Coach Kim James and Coach Jolene McCabe. Between juggling work schedules and dodging quarantine, one of us was always there for practice and games, so we definitely coached as a team, and we played as a team this year. We were very young. We had 8 fourth graders this year and 3 fifth graders. So coming into the season, we didn't have a lot of experience. Some of the girls had not even played organized basketball yet. So we had a lot of fundamentals to focus on, which is where the box out yell came into. So at the end of each game, we weren't necessarily worried about who scored the most points. We really wanted to focus on the fundamentals. So at the end of each game, whichever girl was the most aggressive on the boards, that boxed out the best, got to lead the team and the Chargers cheer at the end of the game. So we ended up 1-3 for the season. Very happy to get that W after the pause. Probably the longest 4-game season that they're ever going to play. but it was well worth it. We did progress a lot. Very, very proud of the girls over the course of the year. At the beginning of the year, getting up and down the court with the dribbling drills was interesting. And by our last practice here in the last week, we had 2 ball drills going up and down the court, and our 3-man weave actually looked like a weave and not like a 3-car pileup. One of the lessons, there was 2 things we wanted to focus on this year. Girls, do you remember? What are the 2 things? One hand. All right, Lucy. So we had talked about what we could control on the basketball court. Being as young as we were and inexperienced, we focused on attitude and effort. No matter what happened on the court, a lot of times we couldn't control the ball, we can't control the refs. Sometimes we couldn't control our own limbs, but we could control our attitude and our effort. So every time the whistle blew, we would reset, try to put a smile back on our face, and go back out for the next play. I can honestly say these girls left it all on the court, blood, sweat, and tears, all at different times of the season. So very proud of them, most of them it being their first year. So congratulations, girls. I'm going to just rattle through our roster here if I can see everybody, and then we'll give them a round of applause at the end. So Mia, raise your hand and wave. Madeline. Lena, Lucy, Amanda, Josie, Madeline, Stella, Megan, Kendall, and Madison. Thank you, girls. Thank you, parents and families. Like Mr. Starkey mentioned, your flexibility in getting the girls to practice was instrumental. We think they had a good time this year, and we look forward to seeing them in the Emmanuel program for years to come. Thank you.
So we're going to allow like a couple quick minutes to get this pick. So parents, you want to get your team pick with your coaches, this is the time to do that. And then we'll get them off stage. So a couple minutes to get that in. Thank you, JVB girls. All right, as they're exiting the stage, one good story. I mean, I know everyone is usually at their child's game. I got the privilege to watch a lot of basketball this year. So one of my more memorable games, actually, is one of the JVB girl games. I believe it was against TCT, I'm thinking. Our referee, Tom Polite, is my scheduler, and Tom has a connection to our church, and what he did for our program this season was fantastic. For all of our JV games, he knew we weren't getting a lot of games in. He always gave them a fifth quarter, untimed 8-minute. Fantastic gesture, didn't charge us. Matter of fact, he's not charging his normal service fee this year. The man, he's great. So in between the end of the game and the start of the fifth quarter, I got to DJ something. So Mrs. Thorpe, she wanted YMCA. So we bolted it out. Then the next thing you know, we got both of our referees doing YMCA with a bunch of JVB girls. So it was a fantastic scene, one of my more memorable things. And just an FYI, we had most of those players sign a card, and we want to give them just a thank you for their generosity. He did not have to not charge us. He did not have to add those quarters for those girls and the boys team. So we are going to thank him in a very near future. All right, our next team is our JVB boys basketball team. It's coached by Mr. Jeff James and Todd Burke.
And there's our team. First of all, I'd like to start off with a real true thank you to Tim, Kim, and the rest of the Emmanuel athletic staff. Without you guys, obviously, we don't have a season other than one game. But you guys gave us 4 games, a lot of extra practices, a lot of good time together, time that obviously I enjoyed, never going to forget. This is a very young, very talented JVB team. I've got 5th graders and a lot of 4th graders. 5th graders, raise your hands, please. 4th graders, raise your hands. And I still got a couple missing. So you can tell, very young, but very energetic. One thing I really liked about this team is that they're very hard-nosed. They never gave up at all in any of their games. Had a game where we got down, what was it, 18-0 at halftime against P. Shelby. I asked them at halftime if you guys would just go on out there and win the next quarter for me. I didn't care how you won it, whether it was, 12-8, 2-0, 20-3. Just go out and win me the quarter. They went out, won me the quarter, 2-0, by the way. Hey, I asked, so they delivered. So, but yes, they never gave up, regardless. Every practice, they showed up to practice hard. They gave a ton of effort each time. So, very proud of them. Very proud of my coaching help as well, Mr. Todd Barrick. Excellent coaching mind, excellent basketball mind. Very glad to have him. So thank you, Coach. Appreciate all your help this year. So we'll run through these guys real quick here. Bryson, give a wave. Zachary, Matthew, Adam, Camden, Liam, Evan, Colton, Hunter, Benny, and Jacob. And I'd still like to give a hand to Victor, who's enjoying himself in Florida. So guys, we had a great 1-3 season. So really, again, appreciate all of the hard work that you guys did. Again, excellent talent. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these boys can do going through the next few years of the Emmanuel program. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach James. Again, pitchers, boys, stay up. Parents, you can get a quick picture. Zachary, get back up there. Thank you. Zachary, of course. All right, thank you, JVB boys basketball team and Coach James and Mr. Burrick. Next team to come up, our JVA boys basketball team, coached by myself and Mr. Nick Kamai. Come on up. All right, this is our JVA boys basketball team. I absolutely appreciate, all the work that these boys put in this season. Typically, there's a couple ways you can gauge progress. Progress in practice, progress in games. A normal season, normal schedule, we'll play each team twice. So you get to see first time through, second time through, how you did. We didn't get that chance this year, as you've heard, right? So we've had some different things that go on. But we did play one team twice. So we got to play Rochester. First time we played Rochester was at their facility, and they got a young man right about here. And he ran roughshod on us pretty much at their site. We found a way in the end to make a little adjustment. We beat him by, I think, like 5. End of the season, 6 months later, whatever it ended up being, we played them again, Stomp Center, final game of the season, 33-14-ish type of thing. Unbelievable, progress from them, ball movement, knowing the offense, knowing the defense. It's one thing when you can on the fly that are out there, when you can make changes on the fly, you don't have to call timeout. You see what a team does, you put your team in something else. You want to change your offense based on your defense, you change on the fly. That's the type of things that they were doing as the season progressed. So good effort there. I'm really looking forward to what these boys will bring to the party in the years to come. Coach Greavy, I'm hoping I'm handing off some really good 6th graders to you next season. I know Mr. Benner, who we'll be talking soon, will agree there are some good ones that he already had a chance to coach this season. What else here? I'd like to talk about the fundamentals. So my practices maybe aren't the most fun. Towards the end, I kind of let them have some fun, play a little lightning, a little scrimmage. But usually there's a lot of fundamentals, and they really progress. So some of the things that Coach Till talked about, the 2-ball dribble, the drills, et cetera, that you start the season with, that maybe 30% can do, 100%'s doing them by the end of the season, no problem. So really good progress in that space. My coaching partner, Mr. Nick down there, didn't work with him in the past. What a great blessing he was to our team. We worked and fed off each other very well. Great assistant, enforced what I was looking to do, and filled in many times on what we'll call Happy Friday when it's, hey, Tim, maybe you should come down to the office. We may have some concerns with this pandemic stuff that we might need you to come and take a look at regarding your roster. Hey, Nick, you got this for the next 30 minutes while we do that? Or, by the way, Ford Motor Company, for some reason, just loves to call during my practice. I tell them not to, but they still do. And then, of course, Mr. Nick down there took care of that, so I really appreciated that. We need height here at Emmanuel. Okay, so the Boost is offering a $10,000 scholarship starting next year. So start recruiting your friends. We're looking for 6'5" and above. Basketball applications got to be applied to me. I'll review them with you, Coach. Is he okay with that? Mr. Newmeyer didn't hear it. It's a soundproof booth up there. He cannot hear what I just said. So, Matt, we got that right in the budget? Okay. I want to just introduce this JVA boys basketball team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce each boy's name. Let's hold the applause, and we'll thank them all at the very end. I have Ashton Clark. I have Benjamin Davis, Aiden Messina, Brady Theoret, Seth Rizzo, Drew Starkey, Samuel Michaelevich. Did I get it? I tried. Eli Till, Max Kamai, and Colin Marth. Your JVA boys basketball team. Parents, you can come take a pic. All right, now we're going to transition to our varsity teams. Normally again, when we talk, we always have to say something about normal, so we normally would have a 8-team teams total. JV, 2 JV B team, 2 JV A teams, and the same thing with varsity. So as the season went on and as they came together as one, we had a decision to make, and we decided that our JVA girls would then become our varsity B girls. So they will be up in a moment to talk about them, but that's why we're not going through that team at the moment. We are going to bring up now our varsity B boys basketball team, coached by Mr. Michael Benner.
All right, line it up. All right, so these guys right here, I'll tell you right now, I hope they had a little bit of fun, but I think they had what we'll call a different year of coaching from me. They had tried to have a little bit of fun, but I think I got on them pretty tough. They definitely got some style, shirt and ties, home and away games. I know that frustrated a lot of them. Thank you, parents. I appreciate your help. I think one thing they definitely learned is that if they don't wear one, I find out. I got eyes and ears in this school at all times still. My name rings through here. So I still know. That's one thing they definitely got a hold of. I will say this as basketball players this year, starting from day one in tryouts and where we ended was a night and day difference. The one thing, parents, I have talked to them about it, that they need to all work on is their attitudes. Whether they think it's a stupid drill or it's stupid you have to make 2 picks or it's whatever the drill is, they've been told they have to keep their head up, whether they're up 20-0, down 40-2, whatever it may be. I will say this group gave me my favorite coaching memory so far. We played Trinity Utica. We had already beat them once, so they were getting a little big-headed out here. And at halftime, we were down 14-6. I went in there, and I was expecting to drop some X's and O's, and they're laughing, fooling around. I asked them, I'm not going to say who, but I asked somebody, and if they were having fun. Somebody decided to tell me, yeah, they were having a good time in there. They learned. We took it up a level, let them know, and I will say this, I give all credit to them. They came out, they did everything right. They took the game into overtime, tied it 20-20 in the fourth quarter, ended up winning 23-20. So these guys, they show they have it. They played tough St. Peter Macomb team 3 times. And I want to say still, no matter what, the improvement, the physicality level that they all showed. This guy right here, Jacob, Gio, Johnny, all my big guys played bigger than their height all year. So I appreciate that. Parents, broccoli, whatever it takes, anything like he said, $10,000 scholarship will help. But anything it takes to keep getting these guys in this basketball program, to keep them growing, keep their minds growing. I mean, very, very great group of young gentlemen. So parents, thank you guys. I know we had some late Sunday practices and tried to get rid of those as soon as we could. But those 2 days of the week, I give all credit to them for being able to pick up everything they did. So, I'll go through them real quick. Grant, we got Gio, Johnny, Troy, Logan, and then my 6th graders again, Sam, Ben, or Davis, because he gets mad when I call him Ben. Messi, I got Drew, Max, my big guy Jacob in the middle. All I know is I was very happy to coach these guys. Coach Greavy is right. You got a very good group of guards, hopefully turning into big men soon. So let's make that happen, guys. All right, thank you, guys. Parents, come on up.
Parents, come up and grab a pick. Okay, thank you, Coach Benner. I get to age myself because I actually coached Mr. Benner back in the day, and I'm actually very proud of who he is and become as a coach here at Emmanuel. The dress-up thing, I think somebody used to make him dress up back in the day that I recall as well. So, Mr. Benner, good job with our boys this year. Our next group, Varsity B girls basketball, coached by Mr. Dave Rosenau and Stephanie Newman. Come up, girls.
Thank you, Mr. Starkey, for the opportunity to coach this group. It's been fun. Stephanie, thank you. Matt Safran, Mike Rizzo, thank you. This was definitely a team effort this year in coaching with schedules and COVID and the whole story. I mean, it's been a really weird year, just not knowing from one day to the next, one practice to the next, one game to the next, who's going to be sick, who's going to be well, who's going to be around somebody who was sick. It's just been one of those kind of years. Everybody's been going through it. But this team persevered. I mean, we played games and we practiced with whoever was healthy. Truth be told, it really didn't matter. Every one of these girls is full of excitement and full of heart, loves to play basketball, and it was just a lot of fun every day. Whether we had 4 of us there or 8 of us there or whatever, whoever was there, we just had a good time. And we had a great season. We lost 1 game. So throughout the course of the year, like Mr. Starkey, I like fundamental practices. So there's a lot of fundamentals that go on through my practices. And we learned offenses, and we learned defenses, and we learned press breaks, and we learned to press, and we learned man-to-man defense, and a couple different zone defenses. A lot of learning going on. But probably the biggest thing that this team, and we talked about this yesterday after our win yesterday, but probably the biggest thing that this team came away with this year is in the 5 minutes, the one game that we lost in the first 5 minutes of the game. It was our first game against St. Peter Macomb. We came out, and in about the first 5 minutes, we were down 12-0. Even before the game started, I could just tell the way we were warming up, it just wasn't going to be our day. And a couple of the girls came up to me and said, Mr. Rose, now every girl over there is about a foot taller than I am. I mean, and I said, so what? So don't even pay attention to them. Let's go. Let's do what we got to do here. Take care of business. 12-0, we went down in 5 minutes. We ended up winning. We woke up after that first quarter. We won the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter by 10. But if my math is right, and it is, we still ended up losing that game by 2 because we dug that hole. The good part of this story, that never happened again. We never came out of the gate slow, unprepared. From then on, we were ready to go. And that, even up until the rest of the games, up until last night, I mean, we were focused on coming out and playing hard right from the beginning, and we just had a great season. We won 5. I think technically we won 7. A couple of those were JVA games. We had the 1 loss. We lost 1 quarter this year, but what a year. I'm so proud of all of you. It's been a lot of fun. So I'll just go down the line here. We've got Samantha, Johanna, Layton, Jessica, Mackenzie, Leah, Christina, Kendall, and my coach Stephanie down there. So thank you parents, thank you very much.
All right, parents, come up and grab that picture.
We've got Jenna here too, I'm sorry, I didn't see Jenna. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you, Coach Rose. Now, Coach Newman, very appreciated. Great effort, Varsity B girls this year. These types of things, when we bring up and pull up kids to play at the higher level, it'll pay dividends in the future. You'll see that as we move forward. So, great job, coaches. Great job, girls. Next group to bring up, our varsity A boys basketball team, coached by Mr. Mike Gravy, Matt Safran, Brandon McKenzie, who's having fun, and Mr. Joe Roman.
You only need 5 players to play, so that's what we thought we'd bring along today. So, no, we had a few excused absences tonight, and it's kind of just ties into the year too. It was just one of those years. I mean, you just never knew, Coach, how many players would be in practice at times. So we made it do. First of all, just to start out, I just want to really thank Emmanuel, thank particularly Mr. Starkey, just the opportunity to coach here. I've coached in a lot of places, and it's a quality program. The future is very bright here. You've got a great supportive boosters club. I encourage, if you aren't involved, to get involved. It's a great opportunity to meet other people and parents. It's wonderful. First of all, I'd also like to start out by thanking my coaching staff. I have only got one of the three-headed monsters here, Mr. Safran and Coach McKenzie and Coach Roman did a great job. And also the wives, just thank them right along with them, because our schedules were just like this all year. And particularly my wife, Kay, it changed every week. And like you say, you get those emails, you know what's going on. This group, I love these guys. They're really one of the funnest groups I've ever coached. They play with so much heart. We committed this year to playing man-to-man a lot, almost all the time. Probably 90% of the time we did that. We felt that was important. They're very one of the more talented groups I've ever had as far as ball handling, fundamental skills. I accredit that to some of the younger coaches bringing them up, and the future's bright with that. The thing is, this year was kind of strange. I think we were talking. We started 5 months ago, and I mean it was almost 5 months to the day when we had tryouts, and we did manage to get in 7 games, which actually is pretty good, I think, compared to where some of the other teams were. It just happened though that the 7 games we played, 6 of them were against 3 really good teams. And I just want to talk about the highlight of the year. One of the teams we played was our Shepherd Birmingham. And if you didn't see them this year, they were much taller than us across the board. They started 4 kids over 6 foot, probably one of the best grade school teams I've ever seen in the area. And Coach Starkey says, "Do you mind playing them a 3rd time? They're looking for another game." At that point, we hadn't played anybody. I said, "I'll play whoever, you know." So we go down there. The first game against them, this tells a little bit about the team. It's where you start and where you end up. We were down. We lost that game by 32, excuse me. Xavier would know, 32. 32 points. And we gave up just a ton of layups. We were kind of timid about going to the basket against them. But we actually played pretty well. I mean, you lose by 32, you're like pretty discouraged. No, we did some good things. Played them we played them that Friday, then a Tuesday. Here, we only lost by 31, so we improved by 1. Again, I'm glad Xavier. He could always count baskets in practice, and he knew exactly where we were. So what was neat about that is that we improved. But again, you'd think, wow, you lost by 31, you didn't play well. We gave up too many fast breaks, but we played a pretty good game. Well, the 3rd time we played them, because we played the extra game against them, was here. And that was just last week. And that was the highlight of our year. And I think Coach McKenzie said, "I've never said how well you played in a loss." And these young men, they played their hearts out. We were giving up about 10 fast break points a game and against them. And that game, they gave up 1 fast break layup. I mean, we focused on getting back on defense, and they just played hard. And they took it to them, and I was very, very proud of them. So it was a good year. I'm really excited about the future here, too. 8th graders, I'll highlight them in a second, but we got a good core of 7th graders coming back. I really think next year's our year to really start to turn things around and start to put some, get back to state and stuff like that, the fun stuff, which is the exciting part about the game. So just to introduce the players here, I'll start with the 7th graders, and I'm going to, even though they aren't here, because some of them had literally legitimate reasons like COVID and injuries and stuff like that they couldn't be here tonight. So the players not here in the 7th grade, Brandon McKenzie, Peter DeLella, and Justin Falarin. The 7th graders that are here, though, Xavier Roman, great 7th grader there, I just need to grow a little bit more. So then Jace Van Havel. Okay, Jace, good player. And then last but not least, who's my other seventh grader here? That's it. I got them all. Okay. That's the seventh graders. Good group. The eighth graders, those that couldn't be with us tonight, again, was Lucas McKenzie. Just say a couple things about Lucas. They coached him last year and this year. Just plays with the heart of a lion. He always drew the straw of guarding and the biggest player on the other team, and he never backed down, and he was not afraid to go at him. He did lead the team in fouls, and he probably should have. And I don't consider it a bad thing. As I said, if you walk out of a game without a foul, you probably haven't played aggressive enough. So he did a great job with that. Next on the list would be Isaac Miller. Isaac couldn't be here tonight. Isaac coached him last year too. Isaac improved so much over the last 2 years. He just is a really good athlete, a great listener. He always does what he's asked. I think, again, one of the highlights for him this year was the last thing he played, because he couldn't play in the last game because of illness, is his last time he touched the ball in the game. It was a great assist from Lucas to him, left-handed layup, just like he's been doing his whole life, and it was a great way to end his career here. And here tonight, Noah Saffron. I wish Noah would have come out last year, but he was just starting to kick it in at the end of the year, really hustled, did a good job. I think if I'd asked him what his highlight of the year was, it was probably our Shepherd game when you hit what? Hit the three-pointer, okay? We actually, remember I said we were down? We started out that game 7-2, we got up out of the blocks. And the three of those, the last three were Noah's three-pointers, so it was a great play there. And then next to me, Gabe Nelson. The thing I like about Gabe, my dad was my high school coach, and one of the things my dad told me is, son, you can't coach height. Unfortunately, I never got it. This young man, I think, is going to get it. The thing that's nice about Gabe is he plays with a lot of heart. He's got great skill for a player his size, and as he grows, he's really got the potential, I think, to actually really take it to the next level if he's willing to work hard and put in the time. Gabe Nelson. And then, let's see. Anybody else? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, last but certainly not least, Kieran Whitlam. Kieran, you talk about a player that just a perfect coachable player. He did everything he asked. He always hustled. He always came to play. It was his first year playing in the program, I think. And I just wish he would have come out in fifth grade, because you'd have been a good ball player, really good. His skills were just coming on. And coaches and I talked all the time is probably who was the most improved player on the team this year. I would have to give it to him, because at the beginning of the year he was nowhere. He not ready for prime time. End of the year, he got in the games. We were playing him probably 5-6 minutes a game, and he did a great job. So, Kieran Whitlam. So again, I just want to thank everybody. Great opportunity to coach here. I really appreciate that. Future's bright. We only had one win this year, but again, we played the teams we lost to were all really good and big teams. So if we could do anything to get them all to grow a little bit more, that would be helpful. A 6'5" scholarship athlete would be nice. We'll take that too. Even if they're not scholarship, they can come. So that would be really helpful, because this group could use a little bit aside. So thank you, Emmanuel. Congratulations to these young men.
Parents coming up.
Hey, good job, guys. Good job. Congrats.
All right, thank you, Coach Greavy, Coach Saffron, and those that weren't here. We are very blessed to have Mr. Greavy on our staff here. Mike has coached a long time, longer than I have, but I did coach against him when I was a young lad And he beat me regularly. Thank you very much for that. When he was playing for a team that, Trinity, something. Now we got him in the right spot here on our program, and we are absolutely blessed to have him represent our Varsity A boys team. Last group of the night, let's bring up this Varsity A girls basketball team, coached by myself and Mr. Joel Newmeyer. All right, ladies. So I really appreciate this group here. They are a very, very hard-working bunch of athletes. We also dealt with many challenges: stops, pauses, missing players. But the biggest thing that probably was the challenge is when you're a varsity player at Emmanuel. Goal and objectives, states, nationals. If we were in the Stomp Center, I'd point back to some banners that are hung. Ms. Probst, we were part of that. You should remember, right? Those are the goals. That's what we strive for. When you find out coming in that those will not be part of your season, no tournaments, nothing nationals, what are you playing for? So what they're playing for is to be better. What they're playing for is for each other. What they're playing for is this school. So I give them a lot of credit for that. One thing that I laid out to them, and Coach Till actually mentioned it as well. So as athletes, control what you can control. We could not control this pandemic. We could not control wearing masks while you play basketball. We could not control states couldn't be done. We could not control nationals. We could not control officiating, the team that we play against. You can't even control your shot some nights. Ask Michigan last night, for crying out loud. I digress. Don't laugh, Seeley. That's it. If we were in a practice, you'd be running. Anyway, so when you put it out that way, control what you can control, it's exactly like Mr. Till said. What does it bring? Effort, energy, heart. Effort, energy, heart. Effort, energy, heart yields defense. My philosophy, as long as I've been doing this, defense wins, defense travels. Every year we were the best defensive team in the league, we went to states. Every year we were the best defensive team in the league, we made it to nationals. There's a reason. It travels, you can play through that, and you can control it. And these girls did that on a regular basis. The only potential slippage of that might have been in our last game against Trinity Utica. We gave up a crazy 18-point first half. If you've watched us, 18 points is like 3 games for us. We don't give up points. We kind of had a little conversation about that at halftime. We gave up 3 for the second, and that's kind of what this team's about. Great defense and great work. Let's see here. So similar to JV season, varsity, we didn't get an opportunity to play a lot of teams twice to gauge progress. But there are a couple things I gauge progress on. So fundamentally, in the beginning of the year, we always do certain drills with the basketball, and then we do these things with tennis balls. Now, in the beginning of the season, it's kind of cool to some of the players that haven't done it before. And by about the 17th time, you're like, Mr. Starkey, really, we're going to do this thing with this tennis ball again. But if you are able to record, which we don't, but if you are able to take in, which I do, progress of what they do with that tennis ball and the basketball, conceptually what you're trying to do is have them focus completely on just dribbling, right? Dribbling without thinking and focusing on something else. All of them really took it on and just, they've all progressed greatly in skill development. And then similar to Mr. Greavy, it's a time where we didn't get a lot of games, and the only school that reached out to me, probably because they had a good team, was our shepherd. I wasn't going to turn them down. We were going to play them. And they were our biggest thorn on our side. They're a talented team, too. They're 7th grade heavy. They run good sets. We lost them the first time here in the Stomp Center in overtime. Coach's mistake, not the players. We took that one. Second time we played at their place, we never play well there. I don't know about you, Mike. I just don't. There's something about the gym. It's got issues. I don't know what to tell you. It's a bad gym. Bring them back here again. 3rd game of the season, Stomp Center. Overtime again, little different outcome. Chargers win. Great progress, girls. Really proud of that effort this season. With that, before I get into just going through some of the girls, I do want to say I've been coaching basically varsity A boys for quite some time until I got Mr. Greavy on board. I wanted him as my coach. I was willing to step and move aside to do that, and now I'm coaching girls. But so the reason you coach girls, Mike, is do you see the height that I have with the girls? Because they just grow faster or something. I don't know. The water here for the girls is better than the boys or something. I don't know. Yeah. So that's why I do enjoy it. The other thing that is great about coaching girls, and again, it took them a long time. It took them to the last game of the season to get me in on it, was I got my TikTok thing going, and they actually brought me in finally, because I knew they were doing it in the locker room. I knew it, you know. That's why they put their water bottles in there. They didn't want to tell me, but I knew that's what was going on. Finally, at the end of the season, they asked me to be part of one, and, you know, I'm really rusty, and that was really bad. So whoever doctored that up, I hope you did a really nice job of doctoring that up, because it was no bueno for me. Okay, I am going to introduce the group of 7th graders. Let's hold the applause. And then I got one lone 8th grader that I need to have a little more discussion about. So my 7th graders, Gia Rizzo, Ava Ruffino, Gabby Carlson, Vanessa Gump, Lauren Seeley, Aubrey Thumb, Kate Newmeyer, Natalie Pipitone, Emma Rosenow. All right, 7th graders, soon to be 8th graders. Step up. And like I said, I have one lone 8th grader, Miss Mary Moyer. So I've coached Mary now for 2 seasons. What do you look for in 8th grader? Leadership. And she brings it. It's not the vocal leadership like, hey, follow me, hey, do this. It is lead by example. It is the coach is talking, I'm listening. The coach said to do this, I do it. Mary knows my expectations. She was with us last year when we struggled and persevered and found our way to a state invite and ultimately would have went to nationals had that not been canceled. Mary will find her way to high school basketball. I firmly believe if she wants to do that, skill set's there. She will join. This program has been very good for the girls. We have 12, I think counted 12, and that's just at North. 12 at North right now. We have 5 former players playing varsity right now, tonight. That's why a few people aren't here, in Imlay City for the regional championship. 3 of them start. One of them is my daughter has a torn ACL, and let's not go there. That's not fun. Mary, you're gonna join them if you want to do that. You're that good, and she is another one that when you look at her as a 7th grader, and I look at her exiting as an 8th grader, just unbelievable amount of fundamental development. So Mary Moyer, my lone 8th grader. One thing I want to close out with, Mary, I know as I just finished, you're going to go off to high school and do good things. You're going to be on the high school team. 7th graders coming back. We're going to get to normal. States is going to be back. Nationals going to be back. Your names are going to get up on that banner. We're going to find a way. It's going to happen. This is the group that's going to do it. They're going to put in a lot of work over the summer. And that's why I encourage all of our athletes that have just been up here today. Put the work in. It'll pay off. our varsity A girls basketball team. If you want to pick, coming up. All right. I called an audible earlier in the evening. I got one more to pull tonight. So, tradition at Emmanuel for our 8th graders is during their last home game, usually before the game, we bring them out with their parents and we recognize them. This season, with the way we were at and what was going on, I decided, Kim and I talked and figured, tonight with a bigger audience, a bigger group that could appreciate all the accomplishments that they've done over their time here would be more appropriate. Unfortunately, we do not have a few of them here with us. I will still read their name, who they are. Those that I do, we do ask you to come up, and we're going to have you stand up on the stage, please. So as Coach was saying, Lucas McKenzie, his parents are Brandon and Donna McKenzie. He's an 8th grader that is leaving us. Isaac Miller, his parents are Mike and Danielle Miller, once again moving on. Mary Moyer, you got to come back up again. Jeff and Elena Moyer, we need you to come up on stage. Gabe Nelson, Lesson Carroll, we need you to come up on stage. Noah Safran, Matt and Becky, we need you to come up on stage. Kieran Whitlam, Wes Whitlam and Jennifer Whitlam, please come up on stage. Let's give these athletes and families a round of applause. And athletes, if you have the desire and you're not afraid to get on a mic, it's open mic. You have a couple minutes. You're more than welcome to say, love you, Mom and Dad. You can say anything. Mary? You can, there we go.
I'll say something.
There we go.
I want to say thank you to my mom for being able to drive me everywhere, especially with volleyball and my brother and her spending time with my dad and everything. I just want to thank her, and I love you, Mom.
Any boys want to say anything? Noah? Okay, so that's another reason you coach girls, because girls, they just throw it out there, those boys. But trust me, I know the boys love their moms and dads, and if there's anyone in the stands they want to see, it's their moms and dads. So we're going to get a picture of these, and then we're going to thank them one more time. All right, thank you, 8th grade athletes, 8th grade parents. Most of you put in a long 4 years here with us. I appreciate all your support for this program. You're welcome to return to your seats. Matt, you probably shouldn't go too far. So last but not least, let's bring up all coaches, please. All coaches, come up to the stage, please. All right. I appreciate every single one of these individuals. I know what they go through. I know what the kind of the gig is all about. I try in everything I do not to discern between one group or another, but I do have to give a little bit of a prop to some of our JV coaches. So when you're approached by me or you reach out to me and say, hey, would you like to coach? And they respond, yes. JV basketball is a 2-month season, not 5, it's 2. JV coaches gave your kids 5 months of their time, 5 months of their schedule. Yes, there are pauses. I get that. But they also found a lot of time in between schedules, et cetera, to work that in. We appreciate all that. Same thing with our 8th grade group. We started in October with our team selection, and normal protocol is we practice skill development, get maybe some games, scrimmage in, really hit it hard in January. They've been around for a long time as well. Their dedication to our program here, I extremely appreciate. This is from me 100%. We can't do this without you guys, and I know I appreciate you, and I'm sure our parents and kids do. So, Emmanuel family, let's thank these coaches. Okay. Yep, give me one. Oh yeah, let's get the picture first, then I'll. Oh.
Get in here.
All right, coaches, thank you very much for your time. In that envelope is just a small appreciation from the school athletics. Some of the kids took some time to write them some letters. I hope they enjoy those later on this evening. Okay, now we're at the program where we're just about ready to wrap up. It's a shame he cannot be here this evening. Mr. Mike Miller, who I mentioned, his son Isaac plays on our varsity A boys team. This is their last athlete that's coming through the program. Mike just likes taking some time to pull in all these great pics and video. Thank you all for supporting that, getting those up on our team Facebook page. He's pulled those all in, and he's comprised a video montage for us to close out this evening. Once the video is done, you all are free to leave. Again, we want to thank him for his efforts, even though I know he's not here, but I think he's watching. So thank you, Mike. And with that, Mr. Newmeyer, let's roll the video. Thank you all for spending some time with us this evening. Athletes, on your way out the door, there's a gift from the boosters. Either door, you can get them. Either door.